Could they mistake a mulatto for a mestizo in the records? I think so. But there are a couple ways to kind of be more sure, certain that a particular caste does apply to your ancestors. If the ancestors in question have had multiple kids, then take a look at their baptismal or marriage records and see what's the most common caste that they're being assigned. From there, let's say like if it's 5 kids and they're all listed as mulatto and then the 6th kid is just listed as a mestizo, well, the evidence is overwhelmingly mulatto, so I would go with that. Also, if it literally says mulatto libre, I would say that's more specific that that's an African person because it's literally stating they are freed, so they're not a slave. And there'd be no reason to state that for a mestizo. There were a lot of African slaves brought up to the north in Zacatecas, San Luis Potosí, Coahuila, so it's not really out there that you're going to run into African lines. I've run into many on my own treaty. One other thing is some people will say mulatto means half white, half African. And the thing is, based off my experience, I have hardly ever seen records state somebody is, a full-blooded African in Mexico. And because of that, I feel like they just use mulatto up north as just a catch-all for an African person. Because most of the time, if you go back in generations upon generations, you don't find, a lot of the times, I mean, from my experience, I don't find that they mix like a Spaniard and a fully black person mixed together and create a mulatto. I generally do not find that. I just see mulatto, mulatto, mulatto for many generations and then it stops. So I feel again that it was just a catch-all term used there versus stating like a full-blooded term for, a fully African person, let's say. Ultimately, under the caste system, it would be preferable to be a mulatto than to be the equivalent of a full-blooded African, because under the system that would cause you to be a lower tier. So of course people would prefer probably to be called a mulatto in those days.